So there are over a dozen or so items in the DLC with some special effects. Elden Ring Shadow of the ERdtree actually provides some amazing new helmets as well as other armor pieces that you're going to definitely want for different build setups. And today we're going to cover all of them as well as how to find them, so let's jump right in. We of course already talked about a couple of them before, like the Horned Warrior Helm, which provides a +5 to strength, and the Curseblade Mask, which gives you a +5 to dexterity, but both come at the cost of reducing the effectiveness of your healing potions by about 6 or 7%. And you get them of course from the Curseblade enemies as well as the Horned Warriors, very close to the starting zone, as well as Balurat. But we actually have more, including the Winged Serpent Helmet. This is actually the best option for that Mesmer build we covered yesterday because this enhances your Fire Knight skills. So the Flame Skewer and the Flame Spear, which are both really great. And this provides about 10% damage increase for both of them. And you can also get this relatively easily. You're doing it at Shadowkeep, and probably you already got it as you made your way towards the Mesmer boss arena. So right here on the bridge, it's protected by a special Fire Knight, which if you defeat, both gives you that spear as well as the helmet that boosts the damage on it. But like I said, Shadowkeep also has 3 more Fire Knight helmets that all come with different stats, and one of them is actually super strong. You already know about the Fire Knight default helmet, the one that drops from regular Fire Knight enemies. This gives you 2% extra HP, 4.5% extra stamina, and about 4% extra equip load, which for me translates to about 36 points in extra HP, 5 extra stamina, and 3.2 equip load. But this doesn't come with any downside, so it's literally good for any build where you're kinda undecided what buff you want. If you want to farm for this, it's very easy. For the Fire Knights, there are about 5 enemies very close to the Storehouse 7th floor side of Grace. Another Fire Knight helmet is Salza's hood, which only gives you about 2% intelligence. It also looks really big, so this is mostly if you just want to piss people off. But yeah, basically you get this from the west rampart as you're traveling to the end of the western bridge from the Shadowkeep. So simply just head over there. At the end of it, there's going to be a Fire Knight. This one also drops a really cool but very useless Fire Rain attack, and you can also get this oversized big brain head that only gives you like 2 intelligence. And then the final mask is going to be the Death Mask helmet, which is going to pretty much have 2 faces, but this is going to reduce the FP cost of spirit summons. However, you still need to meet their minimum requirements to even cast them in the first place. And you get this from the Fire Knight mini boss at the Shadowkeep Church District. You're going to need to head over, drain the water in the area, and once you do that, you can just go down at the church nearby, take it to this route, and essentially you're going to meet it in front of the nearby Marika statue, the same one that also gives you a very powerful seal for the same Fire Knight build. So that's 5 items in the first starting hours, and there's a 6th one, which is the Imp Head Lion. Now, as bad as this looks, its stats are actually really good. It comes with +2 points into Vigor, and it has 3 extra points of Poise compared to all other Imp Heads. So that's going to be 13 total Poise compared to just 10. And you actually get this relatively easy from the Scorpion River Catacombs. You just need to make your way towards the main area and then access an upper platform by riding one of these spike traps right here, which you can access from the rails as you're kind of trying to protect yourself from the nearby frog. So simply go over the platform, there's going to be a corpse over here, and you're going to find that imp head right on it. Now the 7th helmet that gives a bonus is the Dancer's Hood. However, the entire armor set actually gives you bonus damage essentially to all types of dance attacks. So this includes that unending dance from the same blade you get in the same area as the armor, but also Melania's waterfall dance, flame dance, and pretty much all dance attacks in the game. I believe there are like 3 or 4 more in the base game as well, all being basically buffed by 10% in terms of damage. And to get this, you need to head over to the southern Nameless Mausoleum right here on this island in the Cerulean coast. However, to access that, you're going to need to head over right here to the shoreline opposite of it, where you will find a small cave entrance that will bring you pretty much underneath the water and eventually up back to the island area. This is also the easiest of the nameless enemies, and you're going to get the full set as well as a pair of weapons. But like I said, this also buffs that Melania waterfall attack, and in this case, it was like 2023 damage on the first attack without any armor, and then it was like 2219 when having the full set equipped. For the 9th item, we have the Crucible Hammer-Helm. This is the one that you get from Devonia, which you can of course find right here by going at the Rau Ancient Ruins East. It's pretty much going to be right next to the site of grace, a bit further away by some of these ruins. And once you defeat her, it's going to give you this helmet as well as a pretty cool weapon. But this, as far as I'm aware, only just buffs your Crucible attacks by the same amount as the Crucible Axe set was already doing. So you can just use this helmet instead as a flavor if you want the hammer shark looking, well, helmet. But basically, it's going to be the same amount of bonus, which I believe is like 2.5 or 3% extra Crucible damage when having one of these set pieces equipped. Now for the remaining 6 or so remaining pieces, all of them are actually either tied or actually in the last area of the game, which might or might not fall in the spoiler category if you did not reach that part yet. So if you haven't already, just proceed at your own caution. This is going to be pretty late into the game, and we're going to talk about some moments that you need to complete to get some of them. So at number 10, we have the Divine Bird Helm, which is also part of the larger Divine Bird set. In my opinion, it looks really cool, but the helmet is the only one that provides any bonuses. So from the helm, you get +3 strength and +4 dexterity. It also boosts Divine Bird Feathers, which is one of the new incantations added in Shadow of the ERdtree. However, it also comes with a couple of downsides. So one of them is that you get a -9% penalty to your healing flask effectiveness, and it also reduces a bit your focus. But you actually get to drop this. I got lucky and got it on my first kill of the Divine Bird enemy as I made my way to ERdtree, which is pretty much going to be right here on these stairs as you make your way at the start of the area. So pretty easy, you can farm this on repeat, and there's a very quick site of grace very close to it. Another one that you get in ERdtree is going to be that Divine Beast Helm. Do not confuse this with the Divine Beast Head, which is the much larger variant that you get from the Divine Beast Lion at the start of the game, or well, the DLC. So this is a much smaller variant, looks very awesome, and it comes with +3 points into strength and +3 into dexterity. It's also going to boost power of the storm, so pretty much any storm skill, like for example the Divine Beast Tornado is also a storm, but there are storm variants in the base game as well, so Storm Caller, Storm Stomp, and everything like that will get boosted by the head on this, which is pretty awesome. But it also comes with a couple of downsides, like the -9% to the healing flask, just like how the bird mask also got, and also some of that reduced focus. You get this, by the way, from the Spiral Rise Site of Grace. Simply make your way down, as there's going to be a Storm Beast enemy that has a chance to drop this, as well as the armor for it. So you can farm this on repeat at the bottom right here on the platform. However, it's going to take some time, and the drop chance seems to be really low. Another one that you find very close to the same side of grace is going to be the Gravebird Helm. This is actually part of the same Gravebird set, and we got the armor piece, which actually boosts jump attacks. You get that much earlier in the game on this part of the map, but you can actually get the helmet at ERdtree, and this is actually instead going to boost the damage on the Ring of Spectral Light ability. So that's basically it. That's all it does. So if you do like that spell and want to boost the damage on it, you're going to again want to start from the same Spiral Rise Site of Grace, and then just head over midway up the stairs and then follow up the same path up some of these rooftops until we reach a different section of the tower. And from that point on, once you reach it, you're going to just go down a little bit and jump on a nearby platform. Once you're here, you can just grab it from the middle of it. Now, technically, the next armor, you can start the questline for it way before reaching this end zone, but you're pretty much going to have to defeat the final boss in the DLC and also reach this end zone to actually get it. So that's going to be Thiollier's armor set, specifically because the helmet and the garb from it provide plus arcane. So that's going to be 3 and 2 points respectively, 5 in total if you go with both of the pieces, which yes, does not compare to that Mimic Head piece we had in the base game, which gives you 8 arcane, but you can totally combine the garb with it and then get plus 10 from both at the same time. And you get this from, as I've said, Thiollier's questline. You're going to have to follow through it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but basically you need to do it all the way up until the end, defeat the final boss, and then you're going to be able to get it from Thiolier's body, assuming that you also summoned him during that fight with that final boss. And after this point, you can also go and talk to Saint Trina, assuming that you again followed that quest line and you're going to get the Saint Trina Blossom from her. And this is basically going to just give you some extra FP. I believe like 7 extra FP is what you get, or about 6% depending how much points you invested. So yeah, can be quite useful, but it's just a flower on the side of your head. Anyway, this also brings us to the last item, which is going to be the Circlet of Light. Kinda ashamed that it's so late in the DLC. It's pretty much all the way after the final boss encounter, and you're going to find it by interacting with a memory in the middle of that boss arena once you defeat the final boss. And you can get this. It's going to give you 1 point extra into Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane. And it also says that it boosts the power of Miquella's Light by 10%, but from what I can tell, it only boosts that multi-layered Ring of Light by about 10% extra damage, which is actually not too bad. We also have another seal that boosts the damage on that, so the skill can actually be quite useful. Plus, the circlet actually glows in the dark, just like the Saint Trina flower, so if you have them during the night, you will see them oftentimes just glowing. But that is pretty much it. Let me know down below if there's any other cool or interesting items that we haven't covered before. And additionally, you can also check some of the other armor sets that I covered, the strongest ones in the game and ones that you should probably take for a number of strong builds. That's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.